Craig? Hello, Craig?
Yes, Craig.
Hello, Craig.
That's him. He's here.
So sexy.
Hello, Craig.
Hey, everyone. Welcome to our first Q&A after season 1. I'm Rae Lundberg. I'm a producer, writer, and the voice of Val. I'm here with the rest of the cast and crew.
My name is Tyler, and I am the voice of Milo and one of the writers and editors of The Night Post.
I am Ethan, and I voice Nicholas and also write the original music and run the Night Post webpage.
I am Elizabeth Lundberg. I am the voice of Clementine, and I help write some of the episodes for the Night Post.
All right. Our first question comes from Gwen Geronimo, who asks, "Are you having fun? What's the best part about doing the show?"
Are you having fun? Most of the time. The first episode I wrote was episode 2, and I made the mistake of having me being the only speaking part for well over 3,000 words. So that was not fun. It was especially not fun because I had to re-record everything because the first take sounded absolutely terrible. But after that, things smoothed out. It's a long process from beginning to end, from planning episodes to writing them to recording, editing, and then finally publishing them. But I would say I'm having fun.
I'm having fun too. I did not want to record and have to hear my own voice, but once we got through the first episode where I had to do it, it became very fun, and I like recording now. So
Yeah, I think it's a lot of fun. It's also a lot of hard work, but I really enjoy working on writing my episodes, even if I procrastinate a little bit. And I think it's fun to work on a project with, your friends and people you like.
I mean, it's a new experience for all of us, but I think my favorite part of it has been being part of the podcast community. I didn't listen to nearly as many podcasts as I do now. Now there are so many that I can't even listen to all the ones that I want to. There's just a lot of great creators out there, and they've all been really welcoming and helpful as we started this process. So that's been great.
yeah, I've been introduced to a lot of podcasts that I probably normally would not have found if we weren't working on this project. And it's also just fun, just seeing the payoff and seeing people listen each week and talk about the show and what they like about it. So keep doing that.
Yeah, having people say that they connected to something or that it spoke to them, that's always the best part of being a creator. I mean, that's what we look for and, what keeps us creating.
If anyone wants to write some Night Post pod fan fiction, we will read it on air.
Here's a question from our official Discord server from T-Addict, who asks, "What's been the most difficult thing about starting a podcast?"
Having no budget.
No budget is definitely a struggle.
Listening to the sound of my own voice.
Amen.
Having 4 people sometimes in a scene recording and all huddling around one microphone in a wide open room with street noise readily available.
It's funny that you said that right then, because somebody started mowing the lawn like right next door just
I'm gonna
then.
go shut the
Oh
door.
no, I hear it.
All right, well, if there's some lawnmower ASMR, that's just how it is. Welcome to the South. They love their lawn culture here. It's very homophobic. For me, the hardest part has been editing the episodes. I'd never done any sound editing before. It was all new to me, and I know that the first couple episodes were a struggle and were kind of busted. But, I'm on my way up the learning curve, as I like to say. I'll get there.
This is another question from our official Discord server. It's from Mercury is Love. What's your recording setup like? Let's see. Our recording setup is
Frequently changing.
frequently changing. That was sort of a learning curve for us, trying to figure out where we could get the best sound. Yeah, right now we just record in our living room with a bunch of blankets over everything.
We all sit around a table and our one $30 microphone, and we try our best not to bump the table with our titties and so forth.
That was directed at me.
I said our.
Our
It
titties.
happens to the best of us.
Right now we're recording on Discord for the first time, so I don't know yet what the audio quality will be like for this Q&A. Stay tuned. I mean, presumably you're listening to it now, so we'll see.
I mean, this setup is an upgrade from the 2 tin cans and piece of string we started with. So
That's true.
it's a very basic setup that has served us decently well so far. I mean, we produced 15 arguably listenable episodes. I mean, just take that for what you will. I mean, you don't have to have a $1,000 setup in a professional recording studio to be able to make something that people enjoy.
I mean, hey, as I've been going through and listening to the episodes, I think our audio and editing has improved considerably.
Let us know what you think, listeners.
You know, here at the Night Post, we're committed to giving you the best product we possibly can. So if you want to join our Patreon, maybe we can get 3 or 4 $30 microphones.
What would we do with that? What
and
are
we
we, the
would be-
Rockefellers?
we would be officially rich bitches.
Maybe even 3 or 4 of those little styrofoam sound dampening pads to put against the windows while we're recording. That would be nice.
Oh, or we could invest in one of those like those ASMR mics that actually have the ears on them, like the silicon ears.
I do not like that.
Vetoed. Several people have asked, where did the idea for the Night Post come from?
I had the idea for something mail related because USPS was in the news a lot at the time. That was several apocalypses ago. But I was thinking a lot about the importance of mail for people in rural areas and just how these systems of communication are not very highly appreciated, but they are, pretty vital to a lot of people.
The idea for Guilt City in the Skelter came from wanting to tell stories about ostracized and marginalized people in the American South. Because while the South is very culturally and demographically diverse, its political structures are monolithic and really regressive. The idea of this kind of borderlands seemed like the perfect setting for stories we wanted to tell about resilience and resistance.
From the get-go, the one criteria that we knew, it was just had to be unapologetically gay.
This question comes from Addison Langhorst, who asks, Val? Clementine? Valentine? Did you do this on purpose? We've been waiting for somebody to call us on this. Val already had her name set, and we were still deciding on a name for Clementine. And when I saw that on the list of names that Elizabeth was considering, I was like, it makes a really fun ship name. So yeah, clocked.
Yeah, I hoped that would encourage people.
I mean, maybe it's a bit too obvious given that we're married and we voice those characters, but I do think that there are some twists and turns coming in that story. So I hope that no one will assume anything just based on that.
This is a question from Geekery is Afoot on Tumblr. Do you have any thoughts or plans for how long you want the Night Post to be? We've discussed sort of a general sketchy outline for the future of the Night Post, and I think it could easily fill 4 or 5 seasons if we have continued interest.
We promise not to leave it on a cliffhanger, but we need at least a few more seasons to do the whole story that we'd like to. If you want more seasons of the Night Post, what better way than to start a letter writing campaign?
Okay, our next question is also from Tea Addict on Discord. What's one thing or several things that we're excited to develop?
I'm excited to write more music for season 2 because after writing the opening and ending themes, I got kind of stuck in my music production abilities. But I think I kind of got out of the rut with the end of the season and some stuff I've been doing on my own time. So I'm excited to get some more original music for us this time around and give a little more mood and atmosphere and get at the feels.
To me, I'm most excited to develop the relationships between our main characters. Hopefully, the directions that we're taking it will be, in a way, expected and unexpected. But to me, the characters are the heart of the show, despite, all of the mysteries and supernatural stuff. So that's really what I'm excited to get into writing.
I'm excited to shoehorn as many gay characters into season 2 as I possibly can.
And we'll need people to voice them, so, keep an eye out. We may do a casting call if you want to be in the Night Post. This one's from Gadzooey on Twitter. Will we get to hear more about the time before Guilt City? Short answer is yes, definitely. That's pretty integral to where we're going with the plot. In episode 11 of this season, we looked a little bit at Prime City, the predecessor of Guilt City, but only the immediate predecessor. There's history in the Skelter going back, hundreds of years, and we're going to explore that a bit more in season 2. So this is something we've thought about a lot, and I think it'll be interesting once we can start revealing some of that.
We love lore.
Maybe too much. Here's another one from Addison. Who does the strategist answer to? What does she even do, besides, shady conspiracy bullshit? I mean, granted, shady conspiracy bullshit is a lot of it. The urban strategist is the highest authority over Guilt City's infrastructure and development. But she's not doing the nitty-gritty of that. She's too busy thinking the big thoughts. She's also the governor's left hand, so when the governor has a platform or policy that they want to implement, it's Alexandra's job to figure out how to actually do it. And she has a lot of leeway to make her own solutions and influence things as she sees fit.
I mean, as we've seen from a large portion of the population of Facebook users, shady conspiracy bullshit and spreading it is kind of a full-time job for a lot of people, so it's pretty integral to the character.
And when she's not doing shady conspiracy bullshit, I'm sure she's
Being a mommy?
being a mommy.
Being a huge MILF. And that's canon.
With the big mommy milkers.
Audience, does the strategist have big mommy milkers? Let us know in the comments.
Which Night Post character has the biggest mommy milkers? We love to hear your thoughts.
It's Milo.
It's Milo!
Go off, King.
We love
Confirmed.
a man with big old titties. This one is from Banana Bread on Discord. What kind of music does each of the characters listen to?
I brought it up in a few of my episodes about Milo's specific musical interests. He appreciates some queer punk rock music that, most people are just going to be like, garbage, mama. Absolute garbage. But he's really into it. Anything that's really loud, kind of obscene. I mean, not kind of, really obscene. We touch on one of his favorite bands, Riot Queens, in one of the Patreon mini stories. So that's a little something perhaps you can check into if you really want to know more about the music scene of Guilt City.
I would say Val's musical genres are post-punk, haha, and prog rock. Anything that she can just tune out everyone else and her own thoughts.
What about ska?
Oh, ska for sure. I mean, anything that's just a little out there and a little bit dad music, that's her thing.
Clementine's probably a pretty stereotypical lesbian and would listen to the sad indie girl tunes, some country music, maybe some classic country music like Johnny Cash, Patsy Cline, Dolly Parton, of course. I think that there's something to be said about having a fondness for maybe the country music that you grew up listening to on the radio. And Clem was close to her father, so she probably listens to that sort of stuff because she's pretty connected to the rural side of Guilt City.
If we could afford to license popular music for this podcast, it would just be all Orville Peck.
I imagine Nick probably listens to a lot of ambient stuff and lo-fi tunes on loop while he's living at the station 24/7 with his feet gently tucked into his cozy slippers under his desk.
That's so funny because that's exactly what I was thinking. He probably is like, I just love to jam out to my house music all day.
Absolutely.
Everyone else is like, why is there elevator music playing in here?
Got a couple of questions from Addison about what are some of our characters up to after the end of this season. She asks, where's Nick? And how does he know about the spooky stuff before anyone else? I mean, he's not really on vacation. I mean, that might have been kind of obvious, but we'll just say that he's been at the post a long time. He's got a lot of experience, and He's had a lot of experiences. He's not the same man he was before. He's got a number of connections, both inside and outside of the city government, whether or not he knows it.
It looks like Addison also wants to know how Ashley is doing. Ashley, in the penultimate episode of season 1, willingly incorporated himself into the supernatural life stream that is the other. One is doing just as well as is possible considering the circumstances.
Not having a body.
That is a hindrance on Milo and Ashley's relationship. But obviously, we have not seen the last of Ashley.
Our final question comes from T-Addict. Favorite crack theory?
Nicholas's handlebar mustache.
No.
I knew it would be the first one.
Would you all like to give us the definition of a crack theory? Because I would like to know.
Something really off the wall and out there, and it's probably not true, but you like to believe it anyway.
So it's like a headcanon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but like a really wild one.
Like, Aggie is actually Milo's sister.
Aggie is the urban strategist. She faked her own death. This is all her design.
I would like to think that Aggie would always have 2 tea bags and 3 knives on her at all times. Just to be prepared.
I have some excellent crack theories about who Clementine's going to be dating in season 2.
Oh boy. I have a lot about Nick just because he doesn't appear on screen as often. So I'm always sitting there writing thinking, what if Nick is actually just a gas cloud? And nobody mentions it to him because he's kind of sensitive.
What if Nick is a giant cicada and no one mentions it because he's kind of sensitive?
Aw, and he puts his little cicada feet in his little slippies. And every 17 years he screams.
Screaming lustfully.
Don't we all?
I mean, I guess you could say he's 1 in a trillion. You get it because there's trillions of cicadas.
I don't like to think about that. If you don't live in the American South or somewhere that has cicadas like this, every, 17 or 11 years?
17 and 13, there's like multiple broods, I think they call them.
Yeah, they all come out of the ground to scream at each other for sex and leave their shells everywhere. And it's pretty horrifying.
It's disgusting.
Mood and same.
I haven't seen any crack theories online yet, but by all means, if you have a theory about where this plot is going or the characters or anything like that, post them. We love to see it.
People already know, but we really appreciate our listeners and everyone who's had anything sweet and thoughtful to say about the podcast. We really do cling on to those little bits of attention and appreciation. It's really keeps us, motivated to keep creating. So whenever somebody, shares the work or rates us, reviews us, tweet us on Twitter. Whenever they tweet us on Twitter, it's really, it means a lot to us.
On that note, thank you everyone for listening to season 1 and for joining us on this question and answer journey. You can always message us on Twitter, on Tumblr, on Instagram, or by email if you have any questions at any time.
And don't forget that we'll be back August 11th with new episodes of The Night Post.
In the meantime, keep your eyes on your feeds for bonus episodes. We hope to be releasing those every 2 weeks on the usual Wednesdays, and we've got some special ones planned for you.
Thank you for joining us on tonight's Route. If you enjoyed this Q&A session, let us know what other burning questions you might have. Write a post on social media and tell your mutuals about the Night Post.
Tell your beloved mutuals about the Night Post.
Beloved mutuals, it's all for you.
It's all for you, beloved mutuals.
Love you, besties.
All right, I guess so we can go get some food.
All right, I'll tell Craig to fuck
Sounds
off. Good
good.
work, everybody.
Bye, Craig.
Bye, Craig. Ooh.